In this video, I want to talk about a subject that I hadn't really encountered very much until I got into the battles online with the social justice warriors, gaslighting. I'm going to explore this a little bit, and I'm going to talk about some of the valid cases for gaslighting. At first I said this is bullshit, this doesn't exist at all, but then I realized that that's actually too much of an extreme statement. There is such a thing as gaslighting, but I titled this video, "You're Not Being Gaslit," because in most cases, gaslighting, or the accusation of gaslighting, is being dropped too loosely, and it is an excuse to adopt the victim mindset. I'm John from bulldogmindset.com. On this channel, I teach you how to be a man. I teach you how to build financial independence, how to get the physique you want, how to get the girls that you want, and how to go from the victim mindset to the bulldog mindset. Smash that subscribe button and join us on the fucking journey. Civil discussion is the height of intellectual curiosity. Without civil discussion, we cannot have true unique thought. We cannot advance in our philosophies of life. To claim that any discussion besides civil discussion is productive and greater is complete hogwash, complete bullshit. With that said, let's talk about the term gaslighting. It comes from, I believe, a 1938 play, and I think there was a movie made in like 1940 or 1942, where this abusive husband, he does some shit, okay? He basically turns off the gas lights in the house and makes the wife, who he's abusing emotionally, I'm not sure about physically, probably that too, makes her believe that she might be going insane. Question her own sanity, question her own memory, her own perception of things. It's an actual abuse situation. It's clearly emotional and mental abuse, and it's from in a position of clear power. They truly were in a situation where they could exploit their wife, okay, because of that situation. She can't go out and get a job on her own. She doesn't have any money. She cannot leave the situation. It is really a captive type of situation that is based on trust. Am I supporting, feminist movement and all this shit? Don't read into that. Equal in value, perhaps, although I would say that not all people are equal, and I mean this on an individual basis, not as a collectivist idea. Based on that definition, based on that understanding of what gaslighting is, to use that word is a serious accusation. If you're going to call someone a gaslighter, you're basically accusing them of a severe, traumatic, and intentional emotional abuse, repeated emotional abuse. To accuse someone of gaslighting is not a light thing. You don't say, hey, you're a jerk, hey, you're a gaslighter. It doesn't quite fall in that category. The same thing, I would say, just to equate this, with racism. If you call someone a racist, it's not exactly a light term. It's not like a term you throw around like, oh yeah, hey, you're a racist today. Fuck you. You're an asshole. Well, you're a racist. It's being thrown around like that, but it's a serious, pretty serious fucking accusation. And it involves a pattern of repeated behaviors, or sexist, or misogynist. All of these things are not labels that should be lightly dropped, because words, vocabulary, the meanings, they're overloaded. There's premises accepted with words. I'm going to side trail here, and we'll talk about mansplaining, right? That's a good example of a very social justice warrior vocabulary word that was added to the language, which has a default premise in it. If you accuse me, if you say, hey, you're mansplaining, and I say, I'm not mansplaining, I'm just giving my opinion, it's not right for you to call me mansplaining, then what I've done by defending myself is I've used your vocabulary, and I've accepted the premise that mansplaining is a valid phenomenon that exists, which it doesn't. It's bullshit. So it gives it legitimacy. It makes the premise become accepted by default, and that's a bad thing. My main issue here is the use of the term lightly. The way it's being used, it's not a thing. The way that people are dropping it in social media and calling people gaslighters because they don't like what they're saying, or they don't like their opinions, or they don't like that they're arguing against them, or they're questioning someone's sanity when they're acting like a fucking lunatic. That's not gaslighting. And to use the term like that is an abuse of it. What they do is they actually tend to disparage the people who are actually suffering from this. Imagine if you were a woman in the 1930s, or even today, right? It can happen today for sure. In an abusive relationship, a physically, mentally abusive relationship with someone who is truly gaslighting, who is truly manipulating you, who is truly making you question your sanity, isolating you from the outside world, right? Creating a mini cult in order to to break you down psychologically. Imagine being that person, and then all these people are just throwing it around, calling people gaslighters. What it does is it minimizes. It's like if I started calling people rapists all the time. All in all, this is what I would say about this. You are not being gaslit. Don't use this term lightly, because it's a victim mindset. If someone disagrees with you and someone tells you that you're being crazy when you're being crazy, or they don't like your behavior, or they're telling you to fucking calm down, or they're telling you that you've got it wrong, and if you believe you're being gaslit, you should understand that you are completely 100% responsible for your mind and for your belief on reality. And if you're in a situation with someone who is trying to erode your reality, it's your responsibility to remove yourself from that situation or to ignore the reality. You always have choices. I'm not talking to people who don't have choices, but we're not living in the 1930s anymore. We're living in an era in time, at least in the United States, where you do have choices. Okay, and this doesn't just apply to women, it applies to men, of course, as well, right? There's plenty of men that I know that are in emotionally abusive relationships. Believe me, I counsel a lot of men. I do a lot of coaching with men, and I'm like, wow, you're actually being abused. It's kind of funny, but I don't consider them to be a victim. I consider them to be an accomplice. Why? Because they haven't removed themselves from the situation. They haven't stood up for themselves. They haven't taken action. They've allowed themselves to be victimized, and that is the victim mindset. And that's what I want you guys to avoid. If I hear you saying, oh, this person's gaslighting me, I'm immediately thinking, wow, you're a fucking victim. You have a victim mindset. You're not a fucking bulldog, okay? You don't deserve to be here because you're allowing someone to take control of your experience of life. I'm responsible for my own thoughts. You can tell me all the fucking shit that you want. You can tell me I'm crazy. You can tell me I'm insane. You can tell me all of these things, false realities. But it's up to me to decide to accept them or not, or even to choose to be around you. If I feed you a bunch of lies and you fucking believe it, it's on you, bud. It's not on me, okay? I might not be a good person for feeding you those lies, but if you believe that shit, it's up to you. It's on you. It's important to understand this. It's important for you to understand the weapons that are being used against you. It's important for you to defend against those things, and it's important for you to understand the kind of things that you may be incorporating into your vocabulary and your mindset that are part of the victim mindset. If you constantly believe you're being gaslit, you almost certainly have the victim mindset. If you want to quit the victim mindset, click the quiz button first of all and subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you next time. Take care.